Hey, Chris. Okay, so let's face it, for $14,000, you can buy a lot of motorcycle. Probably on that list, you wouldn't think of a dirt bike, but many of those bikes aren't the KTM EXC-450. So KTM builds this bike as something that is ready to race right out of the box. The 6 Days model is unique from the 500 EXC. A little bit more adjustment on the forks. They do preload adjusters up front, solid rear rotor on that one for mud clearance, and a floating front rotor. Rad fan is also standard on all the bikes, I believe, for this year, but previously the mounts were there and you had to kind of add that later. So it's really, all these trail things are there and they're kind of ready to be used. These things do make really good all-rounders, and at our shop we sell lots of these bikes with SM wheels. We sell these to kind of weekenders. They do have, for what it is, the range of these bikes is excellent. You can go almost 200 kilometers on them on a tank, and the aftermarket for these things is massive if you wanted to go to a high volume to extend your range a little bit. We do accept that this bike does have limitations. One of the big ones would be the price tag. As much as we love it, it is a little bit expensive, but once you get riding it and once you recognize where that money has gone, you really do see the value in what's there. The frame, the suspension, the brakes, and all those things add up to one of the lightest bikes of this type that really you can buy. So I'm always surprised to hear the question, who makes KTM? What is KTM? Where are they from? Might be a Canadian thing, that they're less well known here than they should be, but they are Europe's largest manufacturer of motorcycles. On-road, off-road competition, off-road enduro, and most importantly, no scooters. They make some of the most compelling product really that you can buy right now. The Super Duke is just multiple award-winning street naked. Their off-road machines win everything from World Enduro to Dakar to Supercross. So there doesn't really seem to be a category that KTM really does not dominate. Guys, we're going to take a couple of minutes and talk about what makes this bike special. There's a few details that really stand out, and it's maybe details that we cover in the shop, we cover with customers, and even amongst ourselves that we discuss. And what makes this thing so unique is the suspension, the frame, and that engine. So the suspension, very forgiving, extremely plush, both on the trail and on the road too. Frost heaves, potholes, stuff like that. It just gets over all that stuff beautifully. If you're the type of person who wants to really get into it and set this thing up, very easily done. The preload, these two big aluminum tabs on the top of the fork. You can wind those things down even with gloves on. Rebound, same thing, super simple to set up. Preload 2 legs, rebound in 1. Nothing to setting this bike up for your weight and riding style, and that's all covered in another rare except from the KTM. They give you a very good owner's manual that runs you through how to do that. It's something we can help you with in the store, or to do it on your own is simple. The engine of this machine, another question we're commonly asked is why a 450 for their flagship machine when they have that 500 engine? And the reason stated by KTM is that the 450, it's a revier, snappier, lighter feeling engine. Power-wise, about the same as the 500, and the 500 has that really nice, broad, linear power. The 450's got that lighter, snappier, maybe more trail-oriented feel to it. And that was kind of the idea behind this engine. Electric start only, which is nice, so no kickstarting a big single, but if you're one of those woods guys and you're fearful of trusting a battery, you can always add a kickstart. So that provision is there, and it's a reasonably inexpensive piece to buy from KTM. And the last thing on these bikes is this high-quality Chromoly frame that you get from KTM. KTM uses steel on almost everything. So whether it's a dirt bike like we have kind of behind us, or one of their super bikes, their RC8, their Super Dukes, you name it, steel frames. Big reason for that is from an R&D standpoint and from a prototyping standpoint, they can make a steel frame quite quickly. And that's something that they're doing even in their MotoGP efforts and their racing efforts. Quick, rapid prototyping, R&D, make a small change a head angle by a degree, lengthen something, they can all do that very, very rapidly. Chromoly is also extremely light and is also sort of celebrated for its ride quality. So 3 big things that make this bike extremely special and make it a favorite of ours at the shop.